everyone, Tina here. I hope you're having a fabulous day. Thanks so much for joining me. Today we're going to make a 5 easy step card. We're using a few new items from a collection over at Spellbinders called Yana's Daisies. So pretty. I fell in love. I'm a daisy girl because you can color daisies any color you want. And I just think this die is beautiful. It's a 2-piece die set that creates a shadow and then it creates a floral, but the leaves in here are solid. So pretty. And then we're also going to be using an embossing folder from the same collection. This one is called Molded Frame. So let's jump in with step number 1, which is creating our focal point. For the most part, our card today is going to be easy, like the title says. We're going to take the shadow and cut it out with white cardstock. I'm also going to cut out the shadow with vellum. I'm going to create a real soft and delicate card today in vellum. Vellum will work perfect for that, so I'll cut out the shadow with vellum too. The vellum that I'm using is from Hero Arts. It's a layering vellum, but I haven't seemed to couldn't seem to find it to link it. But Fawn has a great vellum too that's a heavy weight. Spellbinders vellum is a little bit on the lighter side, so for today's project I want a heavier vellum. I'm going to also take the die. It's a 1-piece, and we'll cut this out with white cardstock also. I'll do that and I'll be right back. I have my florals die cut, and I do want to mention that the inside of these pieces have beautiful etched detail. Only pieces that I kept were the center pieces to the daisies, but the rest I punched out. Okay, the center pieces we're going to do some ink blending on, and then I'm also going to do some ink blending on this piece here. So I'm bringing in some inks. We're going to use Pink Fresh Studio Coral Reef, and we're going to use Pink Fresh Studio Turquoise ink. And I'm going to color in my daisy centers with my Coral Reef. And my flower centers are all done. Next, for my background piece, we're going to ink our turquoise. And what I like to do is kind of line up where my daisy is. So I know a daisy's here, I know a daisy's here, and I know a daisy's here. So that's where I'm going to do 3 little circles. And I'm not going to go all the way to the edge because I like the white showing. And we'll do this one. This part doesn't have to be perfect, because when you add your outline, look how pretty that is. It's so neat. What I'm going to do is line this up. I'm going to take a pencil, and I'm going to mark the center here. If I can find a pencil that works, I'm going to mark it here, here, and here. Okay, this way I'm going to add a little extra color with my Coral Reef, and this time I'm going to use a smaller, my waffle flower brushes here. These are beveled, they're really nice. And I'm just going to pick up a little ink and concentrate where those circles are and kind of fade out. This is going to create like a purpley, muddy color, but it's great for flower centers. We're just muddying up those colors. It looks so pretty, doesn't it? Okay, but this is going to pack a lot of punch. Trust me. Okay, if you wanted to add green to the leaves, you could, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to keep my leaves white. We're going with soft and supple today. And I'm going to flip this over. I'm going to add some glue behind here, and I'm actually going to tack this to my vellum. I'm just going to add some glue to one of my finger daubers. And then we can pounce this on our intricate daisies here. To me, this is a lot quicker, and we don't have any glue globs when we add it to the vellum. So we'll just tack this down, and then we will layer it over here on that vellum. I do want to mention that if you use glue on your daubers, just use some water and remove it. If you don't want to go to the sink right away, it cleans up really easy. And then you have it for next time. A little water goes a long way. Okay, Now we're going to add our flower centers. We're just going to inlay those. And then we'll take this panel and we're going to put it over our hot mess. And the vellum will layer right next to the white. But you see how the dark areas kind of highlight around the flower centers? Isn't that gorgeous? So pretty. And then we do have a little bit of dimension too there. And that's all we're doing to our focal point. We're going to put this to the side, and now we're going to work on step number 2, which is creating our home panel. This is where our embossing folder will come in. I love frames, and this is what this is a beautiful frame. So I'm going to take some white cardstock. I'm going to add it here, and I'm going to run this through my die cut machine, and I will be right back. And look how pretty that is. Okay, for my home panel though, we are going to trim this down. We're going to trim this down so we have the 1/4 inch frame around this section. Okay, and so now we just kind of shrunk our molded frame. I'm going to tack it here. We're going to stretch this daisy by cutting it. Okay, so I'm going to add it here. I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to trim just one side off here. So that's in that section. And then I'm going to flip. If I have a sharp point, that's not very pretty, so I'm just going to trim that off. Okay, there. And I like the way this looks, but today we're making a landscape style card, so I'm going to turn it this way. Okay, and this is our home panel. Super simple, especially with an embossing folder that does that beveled edge. Makes it really easy. Now we're going to move along to step number 3, which is creating our sentiment. We're going to be using the Woodland Tales sentiments. There is a smile in here that I really like. This has a thin scripty greeting, and then it also has a shadow. I'm going to cut out the shadow with white cardstock. And then my smile, I'm going to bring in some gold cardstock. I'm using my treasured gold cardstock. And we're going to cut out a shiny smile here with gold. And there's my greeting. Didn't take any time at all. I'm going to add a little glue on this side. This side's going to be overhanging on my daisy, and then I put foam tape on this side. And then we can go ahead and add this. And there's my greeting. Now we're going to move along to step number 4, which is creating our background. Our background's just as simple as our home panel. I'm going to bring back my embossing folder. And this time I'm going to emboss some Spellbinders Seaside cardstock. This is an A2 panel. So now we have a real pretty soft teal panel. Now what I'm going to do is trim the outer edge off of this frame. So bringing back my trimmer, I'm going to trim at the very edge of my framed pattern. I'm doing this because I want a little bit of a white border on my card base. Just line this up, it's very easy. So much you can do with this framed border, I just love it. And I'm a layered girl, so I love the way you can just layer it up. So there we have that white border, we have our teal cardstock, and we are good to go. Now I'm going to take our home panel, we're going to put some adhesive behind here, and since we embossed the same background, this is just going to nestle right inside here. And look how pretty and soft that is. Just gorgeous. Now we're going to move along to step number 5, which means it's time to embellish. I think we need a little bit more color. So I'm using my Spellbinders Aquamarine AB gems. I'm also bringing in some of my pink opalescent sequins from Spellbinders. So we'll add some here. I want to see how this goes. So I'm going to place my sequins first. And I think I think 6 is the right amount. So let's commit and just glue those down. And then I'm going to take some of my itty bitty and we're going to add a couple of these also. And then that will finish off my card for today. So you could actually go landscape if you wanted to, but I kind of like it portrait style. Thanks so much for joining me for another 5 easy step card tutorial. Have a wonderful day and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye. Thanks so much for sticking with me to the end. I have 2 more videos that you guys might be interested here. If you guys are new and like the content that you see, click that subscribe button and also the notification bell. That way for future videos, be notified. Also, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It sure does help the channel. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.